Hi, guys. I'm currently in the studio in New York right now, and I'm with someone that I'm absolutely obsessed with, and she knows it, so it's really awkward. But I've got Laura Lee in the studio today, and I am so excited that she's here. I literally flew in yesterday because I was like,
Thank you so much.
to see Laura.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be on the show.
Good. I'm so glad. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, this is my first sort of like fashion-leaning chat.
Ooh.
So I'm really excited.
By the way, you look phenomenal.
Thank you.
Can you tell us what you're wearing?
I am wearing a Stella McCartney denim suit. I think it's like safari denim.
I would love to hear a little bit about your early beginnings.
Okay.
Where are you from?
I'm from Houston, Texas.
Okay.
Born and raised, and then lived there for much longer than I thought I would.
Growing up in Houston must have been really interesting. I feel like we have so many incredible artists that have come out of that city.
Totally. And most of them have to leave.
Yeah.
Just because I think there's like a ceiling in Houston of how far you can go, at least musically, because there's not the infrastructure of music labels. And even venues, it gets tricky because Houston has no zoning laws. So you can have a residential area right up next to a concert venue. And so most of them end up getting shut down because of noise complaints.
Wow.
Even though the areas get popular because of the venues, then people move in and then they complain. And it's this like vicious cycle.
Very limiting. Very limiting. Who first inspired you to pick up a bass?
Mark, my bandmate, who has a million instruments. He has every instrument. I mean, he doesn't have every instrument, but a lot. And he was helping me learn how to play some songs on the piano. And he's ear trained, as we all are at this point. But he was telling me in terms of trying to figure out how the song went on the piano. It's like, listen to where the bass is going in the song. And if you can follow the bass, then you'll know where the song goes. And somehow that conversation led to me being like, well, why don't I just learn how to play bass? And it ended up being so comfy. The instrument felt comfortable to me. And while obviously there's still a lot of work that has to be done to learn how to play an instrument, I think there's certain things in life that feel right. Not necessarily easy, but they feel like a good fit, you know?
How did you and your bandmates meet?
I met Mark through mutual friends. I worked as a preparator, I think is the word, at art museums where you kind of break down installations and paint the walls and prepare for the next one.
Cool.
So a friend of mine from there, we went to have lunch at his house and he lived with Mark. And Mark was sitting there in the front room watching this movie on Afghani music. And I was studying ancient Near Eastern art at school. So it was like a very specific place
and time thing.
Yeah. And we became instant friends. And the week after, the three of us all got stuck in a hurricane together. So I became really close friends with Mark. And once you have a hurricane behind you, you're like bonded.
I will never forget Hurricane Sandy here and the people that I stayed with. I think I'm like unbonded to those people for life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we had that. And then he invited me to dinner one night with he and DJ, and they had church rehearsal every Tuesday night. So they would go to this place called Redyard's afterwards for a burger and a beer or Mexican Coke, depending on who you're talking to. And I got invited, and that's when I met DJ. And the three of us had dinner every Tuesday night for 3 years before we ever started the band.
Wow.
It's really cute.
As they say with most things, friends first is the recipe for success.
Yeah. So I went to see them play at church every Sunday after I crashed their Tuesday night. And I never stopped crashing their Tuesday night. And then later on, after I'd started playing bass, Mark was going on tour with this band called Yippa, and they needed a bass player. And I tried out, got the job. And, you know, I loved it so much. It was like, I want to do this for the rest of my life. Even at that stage, which was much grimier than it is now.
So let's get into your music a little bit.
Okay.
Your music is instantly identifiable. You guys have such a specific sound that I'm like absolutely captivated by and obsessed with. I would love to hear if you can describe it through your lens.
I mean, I've really come to believe that we sound like the three of us, which sounds really lame or it sounds like an out to the question. But the more and more I think about it, it's like, DJ does traditionally play like break beats and hip hop drums. I'm playing melodic, funky bass. And then Mark is drowning us in, psychedelia with his guitar. I usually tell people it's psych funk.
Psych funk.
Yeah.
I like that.
But that's, it's like it doesn't completely hit on everything.
Right.
But I think that it gives enough of an idea of what we sound like that if you're interested, you'll figure it out.